Our next presenter of the evening is Liz Dickinson, and she is the CEO and founder of a company called Relish Life. And we first had Relish Life on AngelMD Pitch Club for our telemedicine event because we thought there's got to be a lot of things that used to be done face to face that now are being done through telemedicine, and weight loss happens to be one of those things. So, Liz, I'm going to turn it over to you.
Thank you so much, Katie. Really appreciate that. Just by way of introduction, I actually am a serial entrepreneur, and I'm probably known to some of you in the audience actually because I invented the Mio strapless heart rate monitored watch. Many cardiologists did use it and recommended it to their patients. It was actually a device that kicked off the wearable industry. We ended up having our products sold all over the world in all Apple stores. We licensed our tech to Garmin and to Adidas, to TomTom, and then eventually Adidas decided they wanted the company. So that's what happened to the Mio, in case anybody's ever interested. I have a very passionate interest in fitness and wellness, which kind of drove my sort of enterprise in getting into the wearable industry for health. But I really, felt that when COVID hit and I my own self found myself gaining so much weight in just like an astronomically short time, I realized that we were looking at some sort of a societal systemic problem related to stress that was emerging. And when telemedicine all of a sudden mushroomed and all of a sudden it became possible to service large populations democratically using telemedicine, I thought, what a great application for telemedicine. Like, we could finally do something in the medical weight loss space. So I had this idea, and I went actually to AngelMD with just an idea. Katie reminded me when we chatted the other day. She said, "You didn't even have a website." I said, "That's true." So I was just emboldened by my previous successes, the fact that I had put together just an absolutely kick-ass founding team and a kick-ass board of directors. And I came to AngelMD and I presented just like 1 year ago. And we were really fortunate. We got tremendous feedback from this group. So happy. We got investment from this group. And it really gave us the money that we needed. We closed the round at the end of the year last year. And it gave us the money that we needed to further explore if indeed we had a viable product. So we built an MVP very quickly. And that MVP allowed us to do a bit of a pilot. And the pilot was a 6-month pilot. We had 12 participants in the pilot. And I'm just going to pull up the results of the pilot here. So either I need a new computer or the network is very slow. Anyway, the pilot was 12 people. We did 6 months, and we saw an average weight loss of 14.1 pounds, 4.4 pounds a month, and 10% average weight loss, which is consistent actually with clinical studies that were done for some of the medications. But I just want to compare that to, for example, what Livongo was seeing. Livongo had about 5% weight loss, 7% on average, people that were very, very engaged. Livongo actually sold to Teladoc for $18 billion. So we're actually seeing essentially twice that kind of result. But what I think is actually even more compelling than the results of the pilot is the feedback that we're getting from our clients and patients. So really, it's not just that they're losing weight, they're actually experiencing their lives in a completely different way. So what Relish is we are actually the world's first and still the only integrated weight loss company. We're offering direct-to-consumer weight loss, and it's by subscription, but the way that we tackle weight is quite different than anything out there. So we're using a biopsychosocial approach to weight loss. So we're pulling together best-in-class weight loss medications we're pulling together clinical psychology, which we deliver through counseling and weekly group therapy sessions. And we're also offering health coaching. And so we're basically tackling the problem holistically. I think one of the problems that we see, and the reason that the statistics for weight loss are so abysmal, 95% of people gain the weight back, is because the root cause of the problem is never addressed. Even if you prescribe weight loss medications, you're not really getting to the issue of why somebody gained weight in the first place. Dr. Vincent Folletti, who is one of our founding advisors, whom many of you may know, he actually did the research with Kaiser and the CDC on something called the adverse childhood experiences. And if anybody is from California, any medical practitioners from California in this audience, you know that Nadine Burke-Harris is doing a major push in California to teach primary care physicians on how to screen for what's called ACEs, adverse childhood experiences. And they've now trained over 20,000 doctors in how to train for adverse childhood experiences. There's a whole bunch of science around how toxic stress alters the developing brain, which causes all sorts of addictive responses. I can't spend tons of time on it, but it is so fascinating. And the problem is rampant. You would think that this is isolated, marginalized community, low income. This is something that happens everywhere. And it is actually underpinning some of the major causes and disease states facing our society today. I encourage you to watch the TED Talk by Nadine Burke-Harris. It's absolutely fantastic. Anyway,
I would agree with you.
Good. So we felt that we got significant success from our pilot, which gave us the kind of success, the confidence to keep going. And that's when we decided in May to do a soft launch of our product. And now we are experimenting, with how we deliver a best-in-class customer experience using, we now have 40 customers. We're taking in customers gradually so we can optimize that experience. In a direct-to-consumer healthcare business, one of the real keys to success is optimizing the consumer experience. And so we're spending big bucks on that. And one of our first hires, actually, our first major hire, was an award-winning MIT product designer who's our VP of product. So we're really focusing on that UX customer experience. And we're also inviting all doctors that are watching, or any doctors that may be interested, to join our program for free. We are offering Relish for free to any medical practitioner. And we want medical practitioners to feel comfortable about what a great program this is, how incredibly helpful it is. We found that, a majority of doctors don't feel comfortable treating weight issues. They want somewhere credible to send their clients. And
that's Relish Life. I'm
exactly.
going to just move on to some of our questions because I think they're awesome. And Liz, you hit the nail on the head here at the very end with, I think most primary care physicians don't get enough training. And one of the things that you all are doing is really incorporating the most up-to-date guidelines with relation to weight loss, leveraging medication, leveraging psychology, leveraging, I know you're building in, again, probably with your MIT grad, some automated check-ins and other delivery of great information for patients. And I agree. I told Liz I'm going to sign up because I would love to see what it's all about. Big passion of mine. But I want to hear a little bit more about, what do you think your target demographic is?
Well, we're starting with women between the ages of 35 and 60. A lot of women go through life with chronic depression that's undiagnosed. And it shows up as, eating, compulsive eating, secret eating, eating to stuff emotions. And we feel that it's a demographic that we can really help. I mean, you can hear a lot of women say, oh, I'm going through menopause now, that's why I'm gaining weight. and they're sort of writing it off on hormonal stuff. But there's lots of clinical evidence now to show that your metabolism actually doesn't slow down in your 40s, and it in fact doesn't slow down until you sort of hit your 60s, and then only maybe 1 or 2%. So we're blaming all this stuff on slowing metabolisms, and there's so many other factors. There's stress, there's career issues.
I was going to say, I think hugely stress plays a big role, and we look at, well, I would say what today's women in that age range are dealing with, and I think we have our answer. A couple more questions from our audience, because I actually love one of these questions, several of them, but talk about how Relish is different or better than Noom, because Noom has gotten a lot of publicity and they're out there doing really well. So what do you provide that Noom doesn't?
Well, the first thing is we are a medical approach. So we actually prescribe medications. We have doctors and nurse practitioners that assess the clients and assess their histories, their medical histories, and then we prescribe FDA-approved medications. But it's not enough just to prescribe medications. We also have a complete program of clinical psychology. Like Noom has behavioral modification tips and techniques that they serve through an app. We actually delve into clinical psychology, guided imagery, hypnotherapy, CBT, things that really help people get to their own best answers, deal with issues on self-esteem, deal with issues around addiction, and really surface some of those really underlying root causes of why people gain weight.
Fantastic. I'm going to quickly go to one last question. There are others on here, but we're a little behind on our time. But I really loved this question. What was your biggest learning from Mio, and how have you integrated that into your current endeavor?
My biggest learning was never, ever do a hardware product. And so my biggest learning is that I'm not doing hardware anymore.
All right. Well, there you go. Straight from her mouth. You're going to have to wait till the networking time to ask more questions about that. But Liz, thank you so much for being here. Again, congratulations with your successes in Relish Life. I'm excited to try it out. I think it's going to be a great opportunity to learn more about it, especially being a primary care physician, because if we know one thing, lifestyle diseases are really what is taking over with most of our patients. And so being able to help them lose the weight and hopefully prevent some of those, I think would be a great option. So thank you again for being here tonight.